Electricast.
Hello and welcome to Abracadabra, Create What You Speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, your host, a spiritual mentor and a sound therapist. This is an empowerment program with guests from all over the world who will share their light and their gifts of art, knowledge and wisdom to inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Hello, welcome again. We are here again, another episode. It is Mother's Day. It is May 14th, 2023. We are, after so many changes and shifts, and we are here. Mother's Day, hello, happy day to all the mothers. Now, again, this is just a day in a year, a day in a life, a minute in a lifetime. Mothers and everyone else, but today is the recognition, the official recognition of the gifts that motherhood brings to us on different levels. So hi everybody, I'm glad you're here. And let's see, make sure that we are all the time going out live there. Yes, indeed so. So, Mother's Day, this concept of motherhood, this concept of giving life, of being life. This is quite an astonishing occurrence, if you will, or something that is happening, and we kind of expect it to happen, that a woman can get pregnant and bring life. This is kind of almost women can stop and think about that. Women do stop and think about that. Oh, wow, I'm creating life in this body, right? I'm creating life in this body, and then there is something that is created out of nothing in a sense, really. Things that come together and create this life. Like part of what I'm talking today is what I talked about on Friday, but we had a bad audio, so I'm going to bring this back into good audio, so we can talk about it and can discuss. And if you have any questions, please write down. This is Abracadabra, Create What You Speak. I'm iLan Azoulai. And so, in a way, sometimes we have things that we do on a day in and day out, and we don't really stop to think about the creativity of it, about the ingenuity of creating that which we are used to or practicing, or for us it is a natural occurrence, like birth. Do you stop think about this creation? This creation of two people that are coming together, a man and a woman, and coming together and creating life. Life can be created on this earth only with a man and a woman. So there is here the duality, but then there is this almost like certainty, aside from things that can go wrong in a pregnancy. Like many things can go wrong in different things. But there is this understanding, this certainty, this trust that life is coming forth, that life is about to happen. And so there is here a trust, there is a kind of a noetic sense, kind of not even believing. If somebody is getting pregnant and says, I believe she's going to have a baby. Well, why? Why not? Because I know she's going to have a baby, except for, of course, if something is happening. But technically, I know she's going to have a baby. Why? Because I know. I don't believe. Believe is something that I believe, something that I don't know. So I know she's going to have a baby. But this noetic sense, this knowing, comes from where? It comes from a repetitive things that happen. Say, oh, this happens, so she can have a baby. So she's having a baby. This happened in the past. So this lady is going to have a baby. So it's a knowing. It's not a trust. It's not a, I believe she's going to have a baby, right? She is going to have a baby, except for, as I said, for something God forbid happens. So where is this? Where is this knowing comes from? There is here a certain amount of trust. There is here a certain matter of a big certain matter of trust. And this is a trust in creation, trust in God, right? Because these are things that we cannot explain. We know how things are happening, how baby happens, like a song. At first, there's a lot of pain and there's growth, and then when it just comes out, the baby comes out. So so there is a trust. There is a trust that this is going to happen. And this is happening when we trust, first and foremost, we trust God. It's not about, oh, me and my body can create, my body can do this, my body can bring life, my body can do all these kind of things. It is understanding that we are a vessel, that a woman is a vessel to bring life. A woman is a vessel to create life. And creating is creating something from nothing. Making is something from making something from an existing resources. So woman creates life, and there is this trust, this immense trust in God, this immense trust in the process, and then there is this astonishment, astonishment of how life comes out. I was blessed 3 times to have to experience life coming out. Not for me, because I'm not a woman, right? But to see how this is, and then what happens many times when baby comes out, we thank God, we thank God for bringing us a healthy baby. We thank God for saving the woman's life. It's just so many things can go wrong, and in the past have gone wrong. So there is a matter of trust, and this week, this past week, we got the eclipse, we got is really about trust. And when we're talking about trust, we're talking also about an emotional state. We're talking also about an emotional state that if it's not healed, and if it is not healthy, and if it is affected by past stories or by outside energies, that trust is not really trusted, right? That trust is really a fiction, because it will not hold water. There is nothing to hold it there, to give it substance, to make it stick. And if we take that into trusting what we create, what gifts we have, the gifts that we have to bring to this world, the gift that we have, that we're given to create, to make things better, which brings to the point of which is more perfected, God's creation or our creation. Let that dive in. God's creation or man's creation or woman's creation. So in Judaism, and I believe it is man's creation that perfects, because we are being put here as a potential. God put us here as potential, with all the gifts, with all the possibilities, with all the availability of all the gifts that we were given, all the tools to express these gifts. Sometimes we have to look for these tools, but we have to take these gifts and to perfect them and to make them better. It's just like when I want to bake a cake. I can just take the ingredients and eat them, and that's a cake. Of course, I could eat them and then stand in front of the fire and let the belly cook, and then everything inside the belly is cooked, right? Well, but It's taking all these ingredients and making something out of it. Not creating, because it's not creating something out of nothing, it's making. So the same thing with these ingredients. These are all potentials to be able to be a part of a creation, be part of making a cake. And the same thing, we are here. So God created us to be here and to make things better. In the prayer of Shabbat and the Kiddush, there is a sentence that says, that which God created in order to be made. Asher bara Elohim la'asot. That which he created in order for it to be made. And by whom? By man, by humankind. So there are some things that we are here to perfect what God created, to make things in their material form. It's like, I remember when I was when I used to build airplane models. You get the plastic or paper, but you get all the pieces that are connected to the main board. You get all the pieces that are connected to the main board, and then you have to break those pieces and put them together. So some of the pieces are already pre-made. They're already pre-made, like the body or the wing. So, but then I have to attach the wing to the body, and I've attached the wheels that are already created to the body, attach the seat to the cockpit. So some parts are made, like the flour, the sugar, the eggs. They're all made, but we have to put them together in order to create that airplane or that cake, right? Then we take a bite of it. So we come here as potential. So God brings us here as potential, so we can create and we can perfect and we can make something out of something. But there are certain things that are already pre-built that we are not to deal with. For example, like giving birth, childbirth. These are things that we didn't create. We did not install something in a woman that now, oh, we can make her get pregnant now. This is something that is built in. This is something that comes for a woman, and where does it come from? From the Creator, right? Just like the pre-made airplane models that we didn't make them, we just put them together, right? But this came already pre-made, created. The process itself has its own arc. The process itself has its own perfection without interfering, because once we interfere, we're going just to make it worse. So trusting, and when we trust in that emotional state, when we trust, what is lacking, what don't we have in when we completely trust, what we don't need fear. When we trust, we do not need fear. We just don't need it. It just doesn't, it's not like, okay, I'm not afraid. I trust, but that means that's not really a trust. But we don't really need it. It doesn't come even into question the matter of fear. We don't have that. We just trust. We know. There are things that we cannot control, but we trust. And we don't have fear. And when we don't have that, and now let's take that back to us. When we trust in our gifts, and we trust that what is created and what I'm experiencing, what we are experiencing, is for the good of our own journey, then the trust is there. And what happens? The fear is not. And then what happens? Then we can walk through any door. Then we go through this door, and we're able to say what we want to say, and we're able to express the way that we want to express without the fear of being judged. Without the fear of being judged, we can go through each door. Why? Because we trust. What do we trust? We trust in the process. Which process? The process of getting our gifts, the process of being here so we can create. So see, it's like a trickling down. And so we bring it back, this whole motherhood. It's this trusting. So there is a trust, a noetic sense, a trust and knowing that something is going to happen, that a baby is coming. So there is this trust. There is this comfort. There is a situation that some women experience where they cannot get pregnant, and they're already in 40 and 41, and they're starting to worry about the timing and everything, and they so desperately want to have a baby, right? So they go and adopt a baby, and when they get the news that they were approved for adoption, the woman gets pregnant right after that. So that is, and I know that also from family personal experience of getting the news that the adoption has been approved and there is the babies and the baby's name, and then she got pregnant, boom, within the same 2 months. Why? Because there is this trust, this mechanism, this internal mechanism that is being relieved, that is being created, the space to allow this trust to come in, and then she can get pregnant. So there is a trust in birth, in childbirth, and we trust, and yet we're going with it. I mean, when we say we, I mean, women, we're going with it. How if we take this on us? How about if we take this trust process and apply it to us? Why is it different? Why is it different that we have harder time trusting ourselves and our processes and our gifts, and we have to work really hard to be in this place of recognition, of understanding, of noetic sense, of knowing and of trusting that I do what I do and then this will happen. The manifestation, and this is part of what I work with people on manifesting, on understanding the place that we are in when we want to create what we want to create. What place within ourselves do we inhabit? What traffic jams, what emotional traffic jams we are inhabiting at that particular moment, or these particular moments? And these particular moments may have to do with certain actions, and certain actions like trust in ourselves, right? The trust in ourselves has a certain energetic flow. And if we don't have this energetic flow, then everything is kind of is off, is really off. And then things are not happening in a fashion or in a way that we want or hope or wish for to happen. Why? Because there is not this full trust. There is this trust that is tainted by different by external sources or by external influences. And these external influences could be family, could be people that are putting you down, could be people that don't trust you, anything that is not us. But the trust that we're talking about between a mother and God, it's also in a way, oh, I'm trusting God, but God is here too, right? So again, there are all the time exceptions to the rules, like medical situations or something that is happening in the history of the mother that can cause A, B, C, or D. And yet, with all that, I would say, like I always say, everything that happens here in the physical realm has a spiritual reason and cause. And when I say spiritual, I'm talking about our journey, our soul's journey. That's spiritual, not a religious, dogmatic stuff type of things. So, now there is in Psalms, King David is talking um, about trust after reaching that he desires to be as a baby in his mother's bosom, right? A baby that is born can't take care of him or herself, can take care of him or herself. And if their journey brought them to that, they have a healthy mother and they have a parent, and they feel the safest. They feel the safest when they're in their mother's arms. Trust. They feel the safe. They don't have to worry about food. If they want food, they just turn the head, the food is there. If they want to feel safety, they go into the arms of the mom. And there is this safety, this noetic sense that everything is okay. They don't know anything else. And this is the kind of trust that King David was talking about. Let me have trust like a baby in his mother's arms. Those kind of things, that kind of trust, and that is the kind of trust with what is going on this weekend every day, about trusting ourselves, trusting our process, trusting that where we are is exactly where we have to be, and trusting in our gifts and bringing forth our gifts, in shining our gifts, and in different platforms, and each one has different discipline, different work, different circle of friends, circle of colleagues that you can express through. But that particular trust, that sense of trust, I compare this to motherhood. Right? It's that trust, that and babyhood, if you will. The motherhood, the trust, the process, the mother, the trust, the process to bring life, the baby that trusts that everything is there and is safe, and the trust in ourselves that is like that, when it is like the mother's trust, when we have that kind of ultimate trust, then really we can fly from here till tomorrow and don't look back and continue. That is the key. And the more somebody is attached to how they do things, or it's my power, my will, my might, my, and has to do more with materialism, and focusing more on materialism, person is more sad, person is more upset, the person is more anxious, because it is all on that person's shoulders, because that person took it. When the person says it is my might, and I did it, and I did it, then there is a lot of weight on the shoulders, a lot of weight on the shoulders. And when immersed in all materialistic, person can get very sad, because the soul is seeking food to be nourished. And what do we feed the soul with? We give it materialistic things. It's not so. So at first it's being tricked for the excitement. Oh, something new, great, I like it, something new, exciting. But then it doesn't go further, because it is material. It has to do only with a certain realm. And now the soul is feeling tricked. So if you show the same thing, no, it's not good. Now I want more, bigger, to create a higher level of excitement. Pretty much like addiction to drugs or addiction to anything else. It's like, no, I got to do this. Now I want it bigger. Now I want it bigger. Now I want it bigger. So, and then the bigger it is, the harder the fall. Right. So that is the flip side of the trust, of putting the trust in the wrong place, putting the trust in the materialistic place. So let's see. I want a couple more things to share with you. And then when we say when there is trust and there is no fear, it's not that the fear is, God forbid, good. We don't want to eradicate all these things. I mean, these are motivational pointers. If we don't have any of these fears or deadlines or anger too, you know, those can be used both ways. Could be used positive and negative. But the fear can debilitate me or can push me to do something. Anger can put me down or can push me to do something. Can push me to say, something can come out of an anger situation of anger and be productive and be created. So it is not about eradicating any of these. It's about the integration of all of these. It's the integration of everything. So that is what the main point of this week, and this portion of the week also, that was on Friday, on this week, actually this whole week. It got started from Saturday, from yesterday, all this week. And it talks about Shemitah, that seventh year where you do not work the land. You work the land 6 days, 6 years, similar to 6 days of the week. And on the seventh year, the seventh day of the week, the seventh year, you do not work and you trust that you will have. Because in reality, God provided, God proved already that in the seventh year, there is enough. It's just like in Shabbat. When you do kiddush, a blessing on the Sabbath night, we have a glass of wine, and then there are two challahs, two pieces of bread. And the reason there are two is because in the desert, when the Israelites were in the desert, and they would get every day fresh food, fresh warm food, like the man. I forgot the name of that bird in English, would fall off, and they would have fresh food. But on Friday, they would have twice, for Friday and Saturday. So there was nothing coming down on Saturday. No food was given on Saturday, just Friday and Saturday. So the two challahs are a representation of the food that is being given also on Sabbath, and you don't have to work on Sabbath, so you can relax. So the question is also in this kind of thing is like, well, why God can't give once a month or once a year? Here is a chunk of food, manage, and this will be enough for a month, or this will be enough for 6 months. So to answer that, imagine a father that is giving his son an allowance. Let's say there's this king. He gives his son an allowance. He said, "You give him here once a year. You have money comes into your bank account." How often does the father sees the son, or maybe not to the bank account? Come take the check, right? He sees him once a year when the kid wants the money, needs the money, comes once a year, gets a check. So what does the father do? He says, you know what? I'm going to give you the same amount of money, even a little bit more, but I'm going to give it to you every day. Every day you come take a check. What is happening here? The father is creating, I want to be close with you. Because if I give you once a year, you forget. You get used to it. It's just becoming a regular thing for you. So I'm going to give it to you every day. That way you come every day and you understand that it's every day's work. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Why is the food every day? So we can remember that it is not my might, my power, my understanding. We can be closer to God. We can be closer to some people call it a higher self. I don't see it like that. But this is closer. Brings us closer, brings us to a place where we contemplate more, where we look inside of us more, where we understand things, where we try to understand things on a granular level, where we connect to God on a consistent basis. And so there is again this trust. So the portion is talking about the seventh year you don't work, so you trust that you will be provided for. And that's a huge thing, especially in this world, especially today. To trust and to know that you are being taken care of, to trust and to know that you are here exactly for the reason that you maybe you know already, maybe you don't know. To trust that you are exactly where you have to be. And the gifts that you have are here to be used and to shine to the world. And to trust that everything that you're doing is going to serve your purpose. Also, if it may take you away from your purpose, but sometimes we need to go away in order to come back. Sometimes it's like a rubber, we have to stretch it. Sometimes we have to be in a different place to realize that the place we were was our best place. And it is sometimes to satisfy our curiosity, sometimes to satisfy the mistrust that we have, or the trust that we don't have. Depends how you look at it, right? So this is it. This is it. The trust in ourselves. And this is Mother's Day. Happy to all mothers. This is I know some mothers who lost their children as well. My heart goes out to you. And this is a very difficult time. And let's joy and let's celebrate this day every day, not just today. Thank you for our mothers. Thank you for my Ima. And I will see you soon. This is Abracadabra. Create what you speak. What a beautiful day. Let's call our mothers and call our motherly feelings, and be thankful for what we have, and thankful for everything that is coming for us. And this sound bowl is for our solar plexus, and the solar plexus, you can look at it as a feminine. This is our powerhouse. This is the powerhouse that sometimes has gone to sleep. I work with sound. I use sound to help us navigate out of our emotional traffic jams and manifest all that we want to manifest. Each frequency targets each part of our body emotionally, physically, and with sound, with frequencies, and with voice analysis, bringing into harmonization again. So this is available remotely, available one-on-one. Have a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. This is Abracadabra. Create what you speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, and I'll see you soon. See you soon.